Are you interested in the Cadillac Escalade? Join our review. Let's go! The Cadillac Escalade, built in Arlington, Texas, has such a strong design in the front, typical Cadillac front grille. But here, of course, I even look small next to this very vehicle. The headlamps come standard with LED and they use this vertical shape, whereas more other manufacturers rather use horizontal shapes. 5'17", 204 inches or 17 foot is the length here of the Escalade in the short wheelbase version. There's also a long wheelbase version called ESV. Soon tell you a little bit more about that. Let's focus on the short wheelbase version for today. And we can see here, this one is a crystal white color. By the way, especially in Europe, not many colors available. It's just like white, black and gray, I think, or something. So they really limit the choices. 20-inch wheels would be standard in the US. In Europe, we always get the 22-inch wheels, so the biggest one that are available. You might want to save the money and stay with the smaller wheels to keep it a little bit more comfortable. Then this very angular design here also in this side profile, darkened rear windows, very impressive also. And then those bright contrast right here. And look how high this line of the car is. And one very cool feature is definitely that this side step here, it automatically flips out when you open the door. Then you can easier access the interior. One of the very rare vehicles where I can just easily stand next to the vehicle in the rear perspective, don't have to go down to get a nice shot. Very distinct tail lamps right there in a vertical way, that's very beautiful done. And then this 90-degree contrast with the horizontal stress right there, and again this Cadillac symmetry. Under the hood we have a 6.2-liter V8 with 420 horsepower. 6.7 seconds is the acceleration figure to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. Now the interior, some nice Alcantara use at the inside of the doors. Then it's somewhat split in where you can put things at the inside of the doors. Seats in black, beige or grey available as for the color, but only in animal skin. But you can see here, it already looks a little bit like granny's sofa, those seats, although this is a brand new car. The seats are very, very soft. Indeed, it feels like, like an old sofa. You can get more support when you put those bolsters, a little bit tighter, but then again they lose also comfort, those seats. But indeed, they just feel old, they feel old although it's a new vehicle. The steering wheel can be adjusted in height and reach. Here you can also put it in. It's always, it's a funny angle how it goes like this. And now enjoy this interior overview with me, where we have a 12.3-inch digital virtual cockpit on the left with digital instruments and 8-inch touchscreen on the right. You see this Cadillac symmetry here again. They try to eliminate real buttons and to make everything like a seamless layout. Here we can also access the GPS right there. We can pinch and zoom here too. The responsiveness is a little bit lacking behind, and you can see how flat this is all integrated, for example. And those are here the buttons. When you push them down right there, both pedals come down, and here both pedals come up So that might be useful for different driver heights. And with those digital instruments, you can actually change what you want to see on the left side, what you want to see in the central display, and also what you want to see on the very right side. So pretty flexible and also well to read. And always nice to have a head-up display here with the allowed speed and the current speed always in your line of sight. In the lower area here, you slide this one open, and then you have 2 USB supplies, putting your smartphone here. And you can also activate the cooling for the cup holders right there. Oh, and very nice sound. The surround is really cool, surround sound from the 16 speaker system. And I really like how easy you can flip the seats. If you just do it like this, and that's basically it, and then the seat is being flipped. That's it, and then you can use this latch right there to pull it all the way up like this, and then you can also get through here and then to the third seating row. And you can also do it from the trunk. Very interesting. I'll soon show you that. But let me first take a seat right here in the rear, and I have the seat as I would be driving, and it still does fit somehow, but the length that is still available here for the rear seat, I mean, it's a very long vehicle in comparison to others. And so, although there's no problem with tall adult in here, there's still a bad package. You should have more legroom considering the length of the vehicle. Headroom is totally fine, also no problem for taller people. Again, 1.86 m or 6'1", my height. Oh, and if you have a movie on a USB stick, you can also fold down this third monitor for the rear seats, so that would be like this. Probably that those third seating row passengers can also see a little bit more. Well, I want to try both ways. First of all, here through the middle. Well, for kids it's surely more fun to do it like this. So, oh, very interesting by the way, the floor here easily, it's easily put up. Okay, about that. And then, well, how can I fit in here? Need to push up those head restraints. This third thing was so low. See how my knees are being bent, so I can sit here for a short trip. That would be possible. So the better than to access this third seating row like this. Well, yeah, I think that's somewhat easier than climbing through the middle part. And now the trunk area here, when everything is flipped up, 35 centimeters in length. You can only put cabin trolleys upright in here then when the third seating row is up. But at least that's still a possibility. Some more space underneath. And then on the right side here, you can flip everything electrically. That's nice and also very easy to do. And the length that is left here then is 1.15 meters. But overall, very well usable trunk. And extraordinary thing is, now the width of the car plays a big role. This is 120 in meters here. Usually, a normal trunk width for most passenger vehicles is 1 meter. So here 20 centimeters more. And last but not least, you can also flip those seats. So the second seating row right there. You have very well usable trunk area, and this one here is in the length of 2 meters. Here we go. And what about the child safety test here when we close the gate? Yeah, that's still quite okay, so no one should be squished right here. Welcome to Thomas's driving lounge with the Cadillac Escalade. This will be very exciting today. It's the first time I've been driving in the Escalade now. And wow, you're so far away. Like, you're so far away. Just because the car is so wide. So pretty unusual, especially here for our European roads. Well, that's also very interesting. How will it perform here, this true American vehicle on the European roads? Very interesting. We're getting a small first Autobahn piece. Soon I'll also experience probably a thing you can never do in the US. How will it perform at high speeds? So we'll soon check that one out. Of course, it's not built for that. But there's also this V8 under the hood, which has a lot of performance. So we'll see how that one plays out. This one is also now a typical situation where we have this construction site on the motorway, and that feels, kind of narrow. So actually I would not be allowed to go on the left lane of this construction site. It's maximum width, including the mirrors, of 2.1 meters. That does not fit for the Cadillac Escalade, so I need to stay on the right side as the trucks are obliged to. Very interesting. So the first cruising, well, I'd say normal cruising speed would be 100 kilometers an hour. That's 62 miles an hour. And I can also set the cruise control. Do it here on the left side of the steering wheel. I have everything in control on the head-up display. That's very well to read, and it's also very well to control. And so noise insulation here at 100 kilometers an hour or 62 miles an hour is quite good, and it feels somewhat relaxed. The suspension is on the one hand very, very soft, so the car is shaking up, so to say. But at the same time, when you have some potholes in the road, it gets very rough. So yes, very, very soft, but not forgiving. And that's of course not that good. So not here, for example, here when you are in the corner and then you're going over some bumps or so, the car gets very nervous. So, and now we're getting to a spot where we can really hammer it as well. Let's see, we're going from 90 to whatever. So that was 170 kilometers. Just need to slow down here for safety reasons. And well, noise insulation wise, it's not too bad. Of course, this is like a driving cupboard, so, or like a driving box or driving wall. And so there is some significant wind noises now coming, especially here from those front areas. But still, it's not too loud. So I'm quite positive about that. And now to our conclusion for today with the Cadillac Escalade. From the exterior, such a stance on the road always says like, wow, here I am, this is king of the road. That's what the exterior says. And it's definitely different than the ones from the competitors, which set also a little bit more on round design. This one here is still very angular. It's also, I think, #1 selling point. The interior, well, you know, we've seen a lot better there. Here they do not offer any alternatives to animal skin. The interior build quality is also just somewhat okay. There are a lot of parts where you say, why did they do this and that and this and that way? Also, how you use the whole car is not really very intuitive. So especially interior wise, you know, there's a lot to do. Also, the overall package is not really good. Considering you have such a long car, you don't have so much space on the interior. Yeah, I think they still have to work on that. And driving wise, this is actually the real disappointment of today. I can just repeat it. I'm not an advocate for German cars or something. You know, if someone says, you know, you live in Germany, that's why you rate German cars better than American one. Totally not interested where a car is being built. I just can say that this very car was not good in the driving part. Everything we've tested, from steering, especially suspension, the automatic gearbox, rolling comfort, how the car behaves, how it is in the corners, it's just worse than with any other competitor I've driven in this very segment. And I think the biggest problem is really the price, or the relation from price to the driving performance. I cannot understand how they, at this time here, testing it in year 2019, sell this car for at least 100 grand, and then it delivers in this kind of way. I cannot understand that. So I'm really sorry if you own this vehicle and feel somewhat offended by what I'm saying, but I can just say, here in Autogefühl, we always give you the truth. We give you our experience and also what we've experienced with other competitors. So I think you just deserve to know that, how we felt about this very vehicle, because I think it really becomes clear that design-wise it has a very, very strong point. Yeah, not such a sound, this is a motorcycle. Design-wise, definitely a very strong stance, but other than that, I don't see anything other, that really speaks for this car. What's your take on the Cadillac Escalade? Thank you so much for tuning in to Autogefühl, and see you next time.